Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Jemshi.
And I'm Pescador. And in this episode of the podcast, we talk about how our predictions held up with a new Microsoft controller for xCloud, Dr. Disrespect's ban from Twitch, and Nintendo's new mobile game release, Dr. Mario World.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Cento Fiore. Cento Fiore is a lifestyle fashion brand that sees beauty and cultural heritage and always strives to offer timeless and elegant style. Visit cento-fiore.com to join the family. That's cento-fiori.com. And also, the Rad Gaming Podcast is a part of Big Heads Media. With that said, let's get on to the podcast.
Jemshi, today marks the end of the Steam Summer Sale. Did you, by any chance, get any games?
There was a lot of games that I wanted to get, but I ended up not getting any more. All I did was get, like I mentioned last podcast, Dragon Ball FighterZ, because that was on the 75% discount. So that was a game that I was kind of on edge with, but I figured I didn't have enough time to dedicate to more than just one game. I think it's all right. I mean, I think I just don't have as much time as I wish I did to dedicate to a game like that, because I like fighter games, like I think I mentioned last episode. Is there are a lot of very time intensive to get to a point of competence, I guess, to really kind of make use out of my time, where I feel like I like to win and dominate, and I don't like being the underdog all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. You can't don't quote me on this. I mean, you can quote me. I was going to say you can't quote me on this, but you can. But I was told by a friend that the game actually is kind of like a pay to win kind of thing, kind of like Rainbow Six Siege, in a sense that certain characters are unlockable, but you have to like pay for the next step. Like you have to pay for the content, and that really stinks in my opinion. I hate when games do that, but
I feel like I'm buying into an incomplete game, you know, and that's kind of the other thing that I kind of get a little. I mean, I know that these game companies, they have to find ways to make money over time. Introducing a new character suddenly, you know, another, let's say they get a player base of 100,000. Add another $10 character, boom, that's $1 million out of all their player base, you know?
Yeah. I don't blame them. I understand the concept behind it. Just stinks. Just doesn't give you a chance to really. I mean, you already invested a ton of money into this game, and then you have to pay more to get more characters. But it is what it is. I guess if people really enjoy the game, they'll buy the characters. But I actually bought my friend Pedro, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I really recommend checking it out or getting it at least. Just if you like shoot 'em up games. You have to like put a little flair, by doing like backflips or running off the wall and shooting people. But it's really fun. It's very tough. It's like it's ranked in it's like C, B, and like I think it was S, and I don't remember because I've only gotten like 2 S's if that's the case. But it's actually really funny. The game's like really hilarious. Just like they'll be like, you did terrible, but you got a C, and they'll be like, C is for coconut, like, or C is for carelessness or something like that. They'll like put ridiculous things like that. But
so like there's different missions and you can try to get a score for how each mission went, or I guess if they're called missions or chapters.
Yeah, they are. They more or less give you the chance to kind of do better, and that's what makes the replay value so good, because there's different difficulties. And but I'm really terrible at first at the game, so like I was doing really bad, and I kept on getting C's throughout the entire thing, and that makes you want to replay them again to get better scores. But the game is really, really addicting. It's pretty short, I guess. It took me probably about 4 or 5 hours to beat the entire thing. But that's because I just like played it straight, and like I didn't stop just because I had the time to do so. But it's actually really fun, and I'd highly recommend doing it because there's a little twist at the end, and I kind of enjoyed that. But
is that a spoiler if you say that there's a twist in the end? I always wonder that, because like if you don't know what the twist is, then it's not really a spoiler, right? You know, because you're like, oh, like what could possibly be a twist, and then you're kind of like, as you're listening to the story, you're like, well, probably this and this, but if it's an unexpected one, then probably not. It's not going to be a.
I mean, it's still like, even if you expect it, I should say that it's not that big of a deal, but it's a fun game. The game is pretty interesting. I really enjoyed it, so I'd recommend checking it out. But I know we talked about these couple games in the last podcast. And also on that note, on the last podcast, we were talking about how they're going to implement Xbox xCloud, like Microsoft's xCloud in general.
Right. The cloud gaming service.
Yes. So they're talking about possibly bringing in handheld or something like that. But you saw the article, right, about the new controller.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. I like the look of it, but it's a little weird because it's so what it is they have like the Xbox controller almost like cut in half right down the middle. So you have the left side and the right side, and you can just attach these together on the outside of your phone. So you would have your phone, and then you'd attach it to the top and the bottom, I guess, or like if it's turned horizontal, or landscape. Sorry, make sure I'm getting the terminology correct here. Landscape. You can put it on the left and right side, and you have the actual controllers. So it kind of reminds me of a Switch just a little bit, because that's kind of exactly how the Switch is, where you have a controller on the right and the left, and they kind of detach. But these ones are like actual like an Xbox controller, so it's like I feel like it's a bigger, chunkier controller as opposed to just like the Nintendo Switch, where they're a lot more slim, and there isn't as much of a, I don't know, thickness or to it.
Yeah, and I like the design because I love the feel, and just the like ergonomic shape basically of the Xbox controller, the Xbox One controller, and that basically mimics the exact same thing you're getting with the Xbox One controller. So I'm excited about it just because it gives me the chance and the feel of being on a console in a sense, and it's very comfortable. It looks very comfortable. I can't, quote it or say that it is, but it looks very comfortable because it looks just like the Xbox One.
Yeah, and I think it's also neat that they have the like, let's say you just want to I know that some people, they don't like having to look down at the controller, like they want to kind of maybe put their screen up. Is that this is like a Bluetooth controller, and they also have like just like the Switch does, you have like this little piece that you can connect the two controllers together, so like it's actually like an Xbox controller, but you can have a Bluetooth and like set your phone on the table and then have your like controller in your lap and be able to play just like that, and like basically have like an Xbox controller and play the games. So I think they're actually doing pretty good on the usability and like interaction interface on this like on this side of xCloud. Like obviously the connection and everything is going to be one of the main points, that if you don't have a good cell phone connection or Wi-Fi, then obviously cloud isn't going to be the best. But I think that's even when you're playing online on a PC and everything too. If your Wi-Fi connection isn't the best, then you're obviously kind of either at a disadvantage or just not enjoying the game as much as you should or could.
I'm excited about it. It just looks really easy to use, and it's the sheer fact that I think Xbox or Microsoft, I keep on saying Xbox because I keep on looking at the picture of it and it looks just like the Xbox One controller. Microsoft just does a great job in general about trying to come out with something that they don't have to really reinvent the wheel. They've already worked on something that's already ubiquitously loved by like their fan base. So I'm glad that they took this step and they designed this controller. It looks really good. But on another note, Dr. Disrespect in E3.
Yeah.
I know that you saw that whole thing that happened. Do you want to weigh in? What I'm trying to talk about is basically the fact that they filmed him in the restroom.
Well, he was doing a live stream on his Twitch channel, and he had like his assistant kind of following him around, kind of like, let's follow him around at TwitchCon. And I guess he went to the bathroom, and the guy followed him in with the camera. And Twitch, the like website, the company, decided to put the ban hammer on him for streaming in a bathroom, because that is against the TOA. Or TOS, sorry. And
that's 2S, that's fine. And it's 2-week ban. But do you feel that was, a short ban, just banned, or do you think that he should have got banned for longer?
I know for that, like from at least what, because obviously it's hard to replay it because everyone's edited it, and all that stuff. But of course, I don't think that there was anything like, it was just the act that he was filming in the bathroom. There wasn't like anything like, wrong that he was filming or anything. Like, he just like followed him into the bathroom, and it was just maybe like, yeah, you're not supposed to film in a bathroom, but he didn't really film anything wrong in the bathroom. So like I could see how it was like, yeah, 2 weeks of, you know, banning his channel for like 2 weeks, and then before he can stream on there again. Like, I get that. So like I can see why it's a little bit light, but it's at the same time you're kind of like, well, you want to kind of like set an example a little bit, because like he's such a like you like he's such a well-known person that like, okay, if somebody were to film the bathroom and they're like, oh, it's just, you know, 2 weeks or something, like it's not like I'm gonna lose my career or anything. Like, I don't think they're gonna start taking it as seriously, you know, because like he probably got caught because there's just a lot of people watching him, you know. But let's say that there's like a, you know, IRL streamer who maybe has a lot fewer people, a more dedicated audience that's like, well, I'm not going to rat this guy out, you know, like, or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of like, oh, it's just a 2 week ban, or I don't know.
And that raises a great question, though. Like, do you think that if it were anybody else, they'd get the 2 week ban, they get the perma ban? Like,
I guess that's true. Think? Is it just because he's kind of like a Twitch celebrity, or like almost an icon?
Yes. Yeah, he brings in tons of sponsors for Twitch. So with that said, do you think that it, like, if I were to start streaming, do you think I would have got permaban? I would have got like a long ban, like maybe longer than 2 weeks?
I think you probably would have got like a month. If I had heard that you like had gotten a ban, I feel like it would have been for a month, because that seems to be like a 30-day ban or something like that. Like that's probably what I would have expected. So I guess I can see your point there. We're like, yeah, it's not like an insane ban, but like I would have thought maybe like a 30-day ban or something. And I know it seems like that there's like you can find any kind of video articles that there's a lot of inconsistencies on Twitch's banning rules, and like what happens, like they're like, oh, they broke terms of service or something here, and then they're banned for like, you know, a week maybe, or like not even 30 days or anything, and then somebody else would do the same thing, and it's like, bam, their like channels shut down forever. Yeah. So like there's just all kinds of, you know, like I just kind of find it weird that like somebody will do this, like, you know what I mean, like the Dr. Disrespect, and then I can see that you would probably get like a 30-day ban, because they're like, okay, well, so you're saying that you want Twitch to kind of reign the same, like that you say that you want them a little bit to more consistent, so that I know it seems like it's always like a case by case basis on how long they ban somebody, and because of that, it seems like there's a lot of inconsistencies to get through, and you know, there's just a lot of people on Twitch, and like all you have to do is just ask around a little bit, and suddenly you could be like, oh, when you filmed in the bathroom, how long did you get banned? Da 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 da. And then like, you know, and it should just be like something where it's just like, it doesn't matter what you're doing if you're filming in the bathroom, which is basically what Dr. Disrespect did. It's, you know, like that should just be an equivalent ban, you know, regardless of what is being filmed, because like they want to. So you're saying there should be scenarios, so like escalating basically up a ban chart, kind of like walking in the bathroom while filming should be set at like 2 week ban. Filming something inappropriate while in the bathroom, permaban kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? Like, doesn't matter who you are, that's just what it is. I guess for me, I think it should just be like, filming in the bathroom at all, you know, should be like treated the same, because like, there's like just that weird, like the intent to go in there. Like, what if you went in there and to like film something like that, and then there happened to be nobody in there, and you were like, okay, you know. Yeah. But your intent was to like shock your viewers or something. I don't know. But I think it's like you said, like I think it would be easier to be like, oh, like they have a list of like, this is all the things you can do that will get you a 2 week ban. This is all the things you can do that will get you a 30-day ban. This is what will delete, you know, remove your channel. Yeah. Because I think like, I know that Twitch is like, their main concern is that if they were to permanently ban Dr. Disrespect, it's like, boom, he's got, you know, doesn't he average around like, you know, 10,000 at least, maybe 20,000 or something. He just got unbanned and streamed yesterday, and he was up to like 80,000 viewers. So like they know that he's a huge chunk of their audience, that people come in to watch him. So getting rid of him is like a bad move for Twitch, but it kind of, maybe I should like
be, I guess, more merciful or lenient, just because, in my honest opinion, yeah, I understand the severity of the issue wasn't that bad, but I do believe that I think that Twitch should really crack down on this kind of stuff, because if you're a professional streamer, you should know, exactly what's in their guidelines and their policies. You can't just do that and just hope to get a slap on the wrist just because you're a celebrity. I think that they should rule with an iron fist and basically this is set rules. If you violate this, then if it results in a permaban, because if you think about it, there's certain conduct in the workplace that you can't do in corporations, and if you're caught doing that, you're fired. It doesn't matter if you're the best employee, they're the most valuable employee, you're gone. And I think that
Twitch
that's how it should
work.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but like Twitch, there's so much public eye on Twitch. Do you think that even though say Dr. Disrespect did something super bad, like something extremely inappropriate in the restroom, just that whole thing on the table, like I think that should result in a permanent ban, but I don't know if they would do that for Dr. Disrespect, depending on the severity, though.
Because I think they know as soon as he gets banned, he'll just instantly go, all right, there's Mixers, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. I can stream on any of these platforms, and my fan base will follow me. Like, he already knows that. It's just the fact that he's like, I've established myself on Twitch. I get all the Twitch, perks and everything, like going to TwitchCon. Yeah. Like he's one of their main draws. I would say that he's definitely fighting for number one on like Twitch for people. Everyone on Twitch knows about him. Everybody knows about Ninja. There's a lot of other people that kind of like trickle down that like they're kind of like right below them. But I think he's definitely one that everybody knows. So like for him personally, I don't think it would be a problem. But for Twitch as the company, it would be a problem if he was permanently banned.
See, I don't know, man. I think that someone else would step up and take his spot. And there's other huge streamers out there, and it sucks to say that one of their iconic streamers, Dr. Disrespect, is gone. But in my mind, Twitch needs to do something in a sense to show that they mean business, and they need to make sure that people understand that this is a guideline. You can't. There should be no flexibility in that. So if someone breaches that guideline, I'm not saying what he did in E3 was like the worst thing in the world and they should have been permabanned. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that like I think that it needs to be consistent. I think Twitch needs to keep everything the same for every person, no matter who it is.
Yeah, and I think perhaps they're still trying to find their footing because like maybe they don't know. Like maybe they themselves, like, we've never had to ban anybody for this. Like, how long do we ban them? We don't know.
See, and that's the thing, though. But Twitch has been around for so long. They need to get their crap together. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that, like, they need to have it regulated. Like, they need to make sure every single rule is consistent. I know that there's different scenarios and different, like, situations that people get in themselves that might not be equivalent to or they're not equivalent, I guess. What I'm trying to say is to one other things or things that have ever happened in the history of Twitch. And I understand that it should be ruled just like, depending on the situation. But still, I think that it's one size fits all kind of thing for certain scenarios, and they should be done the same way.
Yeah, I agree. I want to also try to throw into or move into our last topic. So there's a new game by Nintendo, a mobile game actually, which is kind of a surprising thing. So we got, Mario Dash, there's Pokemon Go, and then now we have Dr. Mario World. And I think you probably know a little bit more about the gameplay, so I want to let you give a chance to explain that.
So from what I've seen, I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play it just so I can kind of review it for the next podcast because actually enjoy Nintendo's like Mario games in general. I'm really excited they brought this to the table. But from what I've read and what I've seen, it's kind of equivalent to the Candy Crush saga. So the way it's handled is it's kind of like a map, kind of like the old school Mario's, like little dots on the map that you move around slowly but surely to like go to the next stage to unlock the next one. Like you have to beat that one, go to the next one. But what's neat is you can play your friends online. And the way it's set up is kind of like the Candy Crush screen, basically, that there's viruses on the screen and there's a pill on the bottom of the screen. It has different colors. So like one side of the pill could be yellow, one side of the other, like the other side of the pill can be red. And you have to kind of like toss them up on the screen to make them touch the corresponding colors for the viruses. And once the yellow touches the yellow part, the yellow virus touches the yellow part of the pill, that part breaks. And just kind of like Candy Crush. So it kind of makes it interesting. And then when you play your friends, you can if you like destroy like lines of the viruses, they also send more viruses. Yes, it also sends those viruses over to your friends' screen. So like they start mounting up quicker and quicker and things like that. So kind of makes it interesting. I'm excited about it. I never really got into Candy Crush, but I love Mario games, so I'm excited to take this for a whirl.
I've played the Dr. Mario game on the 64. So I've played that, and to me it looks like it's similar. Except like flipped upside down almost, because like instead of the pills falling down, you're pushing the pills up, and then the viruses are kind of coming down the screen. So I don't know why they decided to make that change, but that's where I was like, I kind of feel like it's the same game almost, but I know that there's like the different where it feels like you can kind of more drag it as opposed to like doing like a Tetris thing where you're kind of like waiting for it to kind of fall and try to react and like quickly throw it in on the side or something. So yeah, I just find that like it's like a very similar. I do like the fact that you can play against people like online.
Yes. Which
I think for a lot of games, like if it doesn't have like that playing with somebody else aspect to it, like that cooperative or collaborative or just competitive element with friends, I think that's like it usually doesn't seem to perform like as well. And I think that's why I think Pokemon Go kind of underperformed, is that a lot of people thought that there was going to be a lot of like interactivity with friends, like we can all go out and search for Pokemon and there's going to be so much stuff we can do together.
Yeah, it's kind of like an individual act.
Yeah, but then it just turned into, oh, we're all playing by ourselves, standing next to each other kind of thing. Like, yeah, I can. So it's kind of awkward. Be like, hey, I saw this Pokemon here, and it will also show up on your screen, but there's nothing. There was very little beyond that. So
no interaction. Yeah,
I do like the fact that they have things you can play with other people, because I think, and like show like your high scores for the week or something like that. So I think it's definitely going to have a market for a lot of people who are Nintendo fans that also like to play on mobile. I think it's going to find that market, but I don't know if I would see this game becoming like a smash hit like Pokemon Go was at the beginning or anything. For me, I think they had their chance. Like Pokemon Go, like a Nintendo game, Pokemon on mobile had their chance. I think no matter what, even if Pokemon tried to come out again on mobile in any sort of form, I think it's still probably not going to do as good as a Pokemon Go. Like the hype, like I think the hype is going to be a lot lower because people are going to be like, oh nah, like I remember Pokemon Go, like how is it going to be any better or different? And you know what I mean? Like I think they've kind of lost that draw.
I'd have to agree. And what I find really interesting about this whole scenario in general, I'm not speaking for myself, but a lot of people view mobile games as a joke. Like they don't see it as gaming in general, being gaming.
Yeah, it's like casual. Like there's casual gaming and then there's casual, and then people say they lump mobile gaming into that category.
Yeah, and it's funny because look at all these games that are coming out for it right now. And I'm not saying that they're very intense games, but if you look at it, so say if you play on the new xCloud on your controller, on your, mobile device, what do you consider that then?
Like, are you saying is that mobile gaming or?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because they're now like, if they do say, in my opinion, you're on your device. So, I mean, it is technically considered a mobile game, but it's on the xCloud. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I don't know. I think it's. I would just put it in its own category. It's cloud gaming, where it's like very computational and graphics intense games. Not saying that mobile games can't be, but like it's going to be, hyper utilizing a lot of data and stuff that like most mobile games really don't use, because they know that they want the game, like they don't want there to be any, because like there's also the mobile game like pricing is that like any game that's not free on mobile is suddenly too expensive. So like they know that they're like, oh well, nobody's gonna pay $10 a month just to play my game as if it was like a cloud server, like comparing it to cloud.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I just still can't think if I would call it mobile gaming or not if you were playing cloud gaming on your phone. But I think I wouldn't call it. That's what I say. I think I just put it in its own category, because you can play the same game on your phone and then go onto your laptop and play that exact same game. So I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I would just say it's a console or a cloud game that you can play on your phone. That, I don't know. Cloud gaming via mobile. I don't know.
I see that's the thing, man, because I'm looking at the definition of mobile game, and it's a mobile game is a video game played on a feature phone, smartphone, PDA, tablet, computer, and then portable media player or calculator. I don't know why calculator's in there. That's an interesting one. But anyway,
the T98 or T89.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a long time. That was a long time ago. But yes, okay. Well,
back whenever you had to actually buy the calculators. Oh my god, that's the one thing that blows my mind, is that we had to buy, when we were in school, is that you had to buy a graphing calculator. And these things cost almost like $100, like maybe like 80 or something. I just remember they'd be crazy expensive, especially the high school kid, where I was like, oh, these are expensive. And now there's just a free app you can download, graphing calculator. Right? And
these kids don't know how good they have it.
Yeah, like it's just like, what? Like, I guess you have to have a phone to download it, but it's the same thing where it's like, like it just blows my mind that something like that is just almost obsolete now, where like it used to be a requirement when you got into the higher maths, you had to buy a graphing calculator. But I almost wonder if like they have to somehow know how to use a graphing calculator, because like on a test, are you allowed to pull your phone out and be like, yeah, let me just type some graphing calculator computations in here?
I would safely say no.
Yeah, but I know that like in tests now they make you take off all like smart devices, like smartwatches. You can't have them anymore. Like if you have any kind of like, you have to like show that your watch isn't a smartwatch. And I know a lot of smart watches like disguise themselves. It's like, oh, it's like a regular watch, but then there's a smart feature or something, you know, for notes or whatever. So like,
I mean, yeah, I gotcha. I mean, that makes perfect sense, but I don't know, man. It's really weird just seeing the trend nowadays, and they're utilizing the phone. See, like I still, even with the definition read, I understand that you're playing it via the cloud or using the cloud service to play this game, but you're still playing on a mobile device. So I'm still not sure about the definition. Like, I don't know what it falls under technically.
Yeah, I guess another thing to consider is if you're playing it on your phone, like these cloud gamings, like how does the battery gonna like survive that? Because like that's gonna be
I don't know,
an insane amount of battery loss. Like you probably have like what, an hour or two of gameplay at most. If you have like,
that's all people need.
Phone. Yeah, I know, but like I'm just thinking like that's if you played the game straight. But what if you also want to use your phone later on in the day? We were like, oh hey mom, I'm done with school. Can you come pick me up? Like, oh my phone's dead.
Man, that's too bad. That's battery utilization. That's what we had to deal with when we like started using cell phones. Man, I don't remember if you remember that, but like if you played any game on your phone, your battery would just drain. Back in the good old days, like that, it would just be gone.
Yeah, you wouldn't last a day.
Like and if I didn't call my mom to tell her I was ready to be picked up, she'd like fly down there, find me, hunt me down, and then I'd be grounded for like years when I was a kid. And I didn't even like have my own phone for the longest time. I actually borrowed my mom's. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Yeah, we had just the family cell phone where it was, well, like, so my parents had cell phones, and then they had just like the one for every kid, like not one for every kid, I mean one for all the kids to like share.
Oh boy.
And so whoever was like out would be the one that would have this phone. And so like it would always just be like that thing where you're like, I can't let this phone die or anything also, because you're like, so I would always have it like you could do like the like power it off, I guess, but like try to like make sure like the battery lasts, because like the last thing I want to do is return the phone with a dead battery, and then suddenly another sibling needs to go out and they're like, oh hey, so you just returned this phone with no battery and now your sibling has no way of getting home.
Do you remember how the
Or-
battery used to die if it was out of service? Like if there was no service, that battery would just eat its way through trying to find, cellular service.
Wait, really?
Mine,
Maybe I
yes.
didn't know. Maybe you had a bad phone. I didn't think that.
Maybe, but it
Well, I didn't
was
get a
trying to
cell
hunt
phone
down
until
cellular
like
service.
I think my first like using a cell phone was maybe 9 years ago, and that was like after the iPhone was already a thing. Like I finally got like a flip phone.
I don't.
And
I
the
couldn't tell you
smartphones were
when I
already
did.
becoming the cool thing to get. By the time I was like,
I was 15. I think I was 15. I'm trying to think. I think I was 15 when like my mom hit. I could be completely wrong though. I'm really terrible with my own age and when things happen in that timeline, but it's whatever. But the whole thing kind of goes in like I want to know what's going to happen with mobile gaming because it seems like it's becoming more of a thing. Like I'm not saying like it was always a thing, but I'm saying that there's more and more games that are like Harry Potter just came out, Pokemon Go not too long ago. I mean, we got Mario World or Dr. Mario World. Like,
yeah,
there's tons
like
of
it
stuff that
does
seems
kind
to
of
be
seem
coming
like
out
the
there.
reputation of mobile gaming is going to start changing, just because like if you play a mobile game, people are kind of like, oh, it's wasting, like just like, oh, I'm just trying to burn through time while I'm waiting for something, or like I don't know, like it's kind of like those things people like don't take it seriously. But now if you were like, oh yeah, like on the bus ride home or something, I just played a mobile game, to like pass the time, like suddenly it's a lot cooler because you're playing Fortnite, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I know that Fortnite I think has a mobile version as well. Like there's like those things like that. Like I see what you're saying, where like mobile games are becoming like a lot more than just simple, like Flash games almost used to be, like where Flash games were kind of simple and they became really, really complex. And then that's when I think mobile games came about. So you know what? Now that I think about it, do you think mobile games replaced Flash games? Like I feel like Flash games were super popular and then they kind of died off around the time that mobile games started becoming a thing.
That's a great question. I believe that they have.
I mean, Flash games are still around, but I know it's just the fact that, like, I think that, like, I'm saying, like, I guess I'm trying to say is that the market for games, like, very simple games that are just simple, like, good-looking graphics, but are just really simple gameplay, have always existed. And I think just the fact that it's readily accessible on our phones now, as opposed to being like, oh, let me log on the computer real quick and play some Flash games, because like I'm sure a lot of people have done that in class, I'm sure that then it's like the same thing. We're like, oh, now I can just do the same thing.
I'm pretty sure RuneScape used to be Flash.
Yeah, like I think RuneScape has kind of been coming back. I know that they have like old RuneScape or something now.
I used to play RuneScape all the time, man. Used to. I moved on. I've leveled up in the world. I still love that game though. It's a great game, but I have so many other games to play.
Do you think if you went back to RuneScape, would you be like
addicted again?
Yeah, I mean, like, would you? I don't know how like it work. I've never played it. Because see, I thought RuneScape was Runescape. Like I just read the URL. I thought it was runescape.com.
Yeah.
And I never played it, but like that's how how the game like I perceived the game. So I was just wondering, like, if you were to log back in somehow and you were to play, do you know if you would dominate or have you just not kept up with the game? Like I don't know how to really get the game works.
From what I understand, I talked to Luxy Games. She said the game has completely changed. Well, not completely changed. The idea and the premise of the game is still there. They just added a lot of new stuff. So I'd probably get destroyed for a while until I figured it out.
Because they all the new spells or
it's not so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the interface is a little different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the map has changed. The map was the same for so long. But I think they added a lot of like UI stuff that was completely different, but I'm not 100%. I have to look into that. I actually kind of want to play it and give my synopsis of it now. Dang it, Jemshi. Now you're going to get me to play RuneScape again. It's going to happen.
You know what game I played when everybody was playing RuneScape? I played
What's that?
Neopets.
Why does it sound so familiar? I don't know if I've ever touched Neopets.
It was like an online thing where you would log in and then you would get a Neopet.
Oh, is it like the almost like a Tamagotchi but online?
Yeah. Because my sister was super into that game, and I just thought like that's like the game that I always saw, and like because all my friends played Runescape or RuneScape, whatever, and I played.
Did you just really call it Runescape right now?
I know that's what I always called it, Runescape. So to say RuneScape is like I'm like forcing myself to say that, kind of like how I have to pronounce what is it, wash and wash. I have to purposely go wash, like, and then be like, all right, George Washington.
Is that for real? You say wash?
Wash.
Sometimes? Do you say you gotta go wash my clothes?
Yeah, I mean, I have to like consciously, like, if I'm around people that I know aren't my like family members, then I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like wash, go wash my car or whatever.
Go wash my car. Go wash the car.
Wash.
Right?
You're not even. I think it's funny. You're not even pronouncing it wrong correctly.
Wait, how do you say it again?
Wash.
Worsh.
Worsh. Like WORSH is kind of how I pronounce it.
Worsh.
Yeah.
Weird. I can't pronounce it wrong. It's really strange. I know it's a Western Pennsylvania thing too to say worsh, but I've never said it. My father and my mom both say it. It's really weird. I don't know how I didn't get stuck on saying that. But I should play Run Escape, as you so call it, and you should play Neopets.
Actually, so I was going to mention is that Neopets is now like officially shut down.
Oh, well.
So my pets are all dead. That's funny because like if you didn't log in for a long time and you log back in, your pets would be like starving and they'd be like, oh, where have you been? I'm just like starving this whole time. You haven't fed me.
Did they ever like pass away
No.
if you don't pay? Like,
so I found out that like they would just never die.
Precipice of dying but not dying?
Yeah, but they would just hate you because they were like, oh, he never feeds me. And then they would never... I always liked the game that was called Shapeshifter. Like they had like a bunch of little mini games you could play. And I just played the Shapeshifter game, which was just like kind of like a puzzle game where you would like lay like kind of like Tetris pieces on top of things and then everything underneath it would change. And you had to lay all these Tetris pieces on. And then once you were done with the final piece, all of them needed to match the same icon. So like it would flip back and forth, like, okay, they're red and blue, like as an example, and you'd lay like a piece on it, everything underneath it would change to the opposite color. That's all I did on Neopets. So I didn't
Dude, that's what we gotta do. We gotta download what is it? Dr. Mario World on the mobile phone and play that, give us a synopsis. And you need to play Run Escape.
I do. I need to just understand what this whole
Yeah, I love RuneScape
world is about.
I need to play RuneScape again because so you can specialize in different things and you can sell them on like what used to be a market. I don't know if they still have it. Like I said, they changed it quite a bit from what I understand. But they used to have like a whole economy based in RuneScape. So obviously you can fight and things like that. And if you go into the PvP woods, then you could die, lose all your stuff, that kind of stuff. But I used to do smithing a lot. Like I was on Mithril. And I would be able to make a full armor set, which I was super pumped about because you can sell that on the market because people are always looking for that because they die, go in PvP, and then they lose their entire armor set. So like I'd sell that. I used to be, this sounds ridiculous, but I used to be a fisher on that. And I used to get, I think, lobsters and tuna, which would give you a lot of health if you ate that in the woods if they're cooked good. So then my cooking skills were extremely high. So I can cook the lobster and sell them in the market.
Pescador, because you're the...
Yeah, right. And then also you can chop down trees, which makes staffs and bows, from what I remember. And I had a really high like chopping, skill. I had like, it was bad. I was like into this game big time, and I had such high skills that I would make a living on the market, and then I'd go into PvP woods, and then just destroy people. But there's multiple times I got destroyed because people were better than me. But it was fun. I enjoyed the game. So you need to play it.
I feel like I'm going to get crushed by you. You're going to log into your account and be like, oh, let's go out together, Gemsg, and then... You should
follow me. Well, it lets you know. Well, at least it used to let you know if you're like, oh, you're about to go in the PvP woods. You sure you want to do that? And then you just keep on walking through the PvP woods, and then people just hop out of nowhere. And it's the most like horrifying thing. People would just like bait you in. They'd have like... So I can't remember the next tier up from Mithril, like in the game. But what people would do is like wear Mithril armor and have a full Mithril set. And they go into the woods and like the 10, like you can be level 10 or higher. Like it'll tell you like, oh, you can fight things like level 10 higher than you. So like you go in that section and people would sit there with like Mithril armor and they'd bait you. And then as soon as you start fighting them, they'd switch to their other set of armor that's higher than Mithril. And then they just like destroy you. And it was the worst, especially archers. If you're an archer, oh man, that was rough because there's no escaping that. But
See, I'm gonna be
Don't go in the
that
woods.
game. That's why.
Maybe that's what it is for you. Maybe it is Run Escape.
But yeah, I'll have to play that game. Hopefully, I enjoy it somewhat.
I think you will. It's a pretty fun game, and I'm actually really excited to see what they did with it. So I'll have to give my opinion about it because I used to play RuneScape all the time, and if it's as good as they say it is, and I haven't seen it for so long, I'm just excited to see what they have done with it. So.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and rate and subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts. We release a new episode every Wednesday and Friday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.